Hey, this is Mike and Tom with the Muscle and Speed podcast. We're here to talk about our favorite car movies, TV shows, music, and workouts, wheeling, whatever else comes to our mind. We're going to be posting these up once a week. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Muscle and Speed. We also have a website, www.muscleandspeed.com, where we'll eventually be selling some merch. Our goal here is to share our passion for all these things with the people who feel the same way. All right, and we're back. 7th episode now. Why not?
Why not?
We just got back from the gym. I think it went pretty well. Overall,
yeah,
you know,
it was good.
It's weird those times when it does feel like you have the energy and you are able to hit some bigger lifts because you're just absolutely exhausted afterwards. What I'm talking about is for me,
A few PRs this week. A couple.
Yeah, a couple. We had the overhead press with the dumbbells, and then incline today. I got 315 once.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a nice lift for me. Never done that before. I've always hated doing incline press. I'm still not all that big on it, but flat looked like it was going to go good. And I hit 365, and I hit the pegs on every single rep.
Bounced its way up.
Oh, that's a momentum killer.
But you still got it. 3 reps banging off the pegs.
Well, it kind of pissed me off because I felt really good today. So I was kind of thinking like, man, this is a day where I'm going to get some work in. And, you know, it's one of those, like we were talking, you grab the bar, and when your hand feels strong when you squeeze it, you're like,
Exactly.
yeah, I got this.
Yep.
And then the rep went up well. Like you said, I was up too high on the bench, and I hit the pegs on every single one.
All 3 reps.
All 3 reps. Oh, well. That made me refocus, though, because I still felt good. I didn't want to go higher on bench just because, I don't know, it soured me, and then I wanted to try the incline and really put it in there. So it worked out.
And you got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Leg press went as leg press has for me. I mean, I made it up to, I don't know. You know, I was thinking about that today because I don't know. When it comes to the leg press, I don't know what that sled's worth. I know it's heavy because I know skinny people who go in there just use the sled because it's heavy.
Right.
I don't know how much weight to give it. And so I don't know if it's a bad thing, but I often will put, I'll just even out the number. So if you're putting 45s on, they're only 90 pounds. I just make them equal 100.
100 pounds for 2 plates.
Right. That's stupid in that I keep doing that right up until we hit higher weights versus, you know, saying if we have 400 in plates on there, we have 4 100-pound plates in our gym. So we put 4 100-pound plates on, call it 400 pounds. If I have 4 100-pound plates and 2 45s like we did today to start out with, I call that 600 pounds. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It really doesn't make sense.
2 plates aside. 4 plates, but 2 aside.
But when you're doing 9 plates and you're calling it 1,000 pounds, that the dollars don't make sense there.
Yeah, we're losing a little bit.
Yeah.
But like you said, the sled has to count for something.
The sled does count for something. So, I don't know. People probably know way more about that than I do. In fact, I guarantee many people know way more about it than I do. But that's just the way I look at it. So the way I work out the math in my head. So, leg pressing went well. I didn't get nauseous this week, although I was shaky. After the 3rd set, I knew I was about done because my legs were shaking and I was sweating like a pig, and I knew I was about done.
We were done.
No. You kept going. Like I told you a long time ago, don't wait for me on legs. Your legs are way stronger than mine. Way.
But we did it.
We did it. We did it. We won't have that nice ass shape from squatting because we didn't do that today.
No.
I saw a meme earlier in the week too, and it had two fairly strong guys standing next to each other. One of them had that bubble butt, and it just said squatter, and the other guy had big legs and a flat ass, and it was leg presser.
Yeah.
Oh, well. What do we care?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and then we came back here and ate some fish, right? Had some sushi.
Some salmon.
Yeah, we had salmon and
sea bass.
And sea bass on the grill.
Yeah.
Some chipotle and garlic on there.
JT's menu.
Yeah, JT, it's his 13th birthday.
Today.
The
birthday boy.
Yes. And so when I post the update for this podcast, I'm also going to throw up a kind of a slideshow and pictures of Jordan with all the vehicles I've had over the years, and some of the ones that were his. He had some pretty sweet Power Wheels back in the day. Yeah, he's a good kid, and he had a nice birthday. We had a party for him yesterday, and he had 4 friends spend the night. They were up all night long.
Oh, I bet.
Poor Jules. She's a light sleeper, and so my snoring on top of their shenanigans.
She's probably sleeping right now.
Yeah, she's kind of sprawled out on the couch in there. Feel bad for her. Yeah, I don't, I wake up pretty easy. I'm not like groggy. When I wake up, I'm up. But I also sleep like a rock. So it's going to have to be pretty loud or for me to open my eyes. Otherwise, I'll sleep right through it. I don't know if that's comes from being in a big family where there's just lots of noise all the time, no matter what.
I don't know. I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, her and Jordan have been killing it in the gym. He is super pumped about what you got him for his birthday.
The slingshot.
Jordan got his very own slingshot. And I'm telling you, I know some locals listen to this podcast. If you go to the gym at all, just get one. They're $50, $60, whatever they are. Go get one. They will help your bench tremendously. Don't get caught up in it's helping you off the bottom, or it's doing this or it's doing that. What it will do is correct your form and allow you to rep out with a decent amount of weight. I don't care what level you're at. It doesn't matter. And that's why I thought that was really cool that you got him one of those. That's awesome.
As long as he likes it.
He likes it. He did more reps on incline today for more sets than he's done. And it was a huge difference.
Yeah, that's right. That's what he told me.
Yeah.
4 sets?
Yeah, 4 sets. He was getting 8 and 9 reps. I forget how much weight it was. Again, he's just turned 13. He's a pretty skinny kid, but he's in good shape. Yeah, he was pumped up, and I'll tell you, he's because of he's like anybody else. What's your favorite workout? Well, it's the one I can lift the most with. And so for him, he loves lifting with his legs because his legs are a lot stronger than the rest of him, which makes sense. He's a really active kid. He runs all over the place. He always has, climbs on stuff, just naturally active. And so he's hated chest day. Yeah,
him and Uncle.
Yeah, he's hated it. And now with that slingshot, I think because he's seen me use it, although there's a little bit of a learning curve there, he also kind of thought he was going to put it on and just be able to throw up whatever weight he wanted. So he learned real quick that's not how that
works. It just helps
works.
a bit in the bottom, keeps his arms in. And,
keeps your arms in, keeps your form tight.
For him.
No, you still got to do it. And we had a tribal police officer down there, Ev. He put it on and did some push-ups. We let another guy try it. I think he ordered one from his phone right there.
He did. Yeah.
Ev's talking about getting one too. We were just telling about the different levels because you and I, we have the standard slingshot, the red one, and then we've got the Mad Dog, the black one. Someday I'll earn the right to use it. I'm not there yet, but you know, in our working out over the years, you and I have always been kind of neck and neck. I would say you've always been a little bit stronger than me on our lifts. And so I know chest day has been really difficult for you because with your shoulder, you know, you can barely lift a plate sometimes when we're using the bar. Now, since then, and I know we've went over this before, but you're starting to get some pretty good numbers with some heavy dumbbells.
Yep, just
on chest day.
Not touching a barbell, sticking with dumbbells.
And you did what, 110s today?
Yep.
That's a good lift.
It's starting to get there.
And you're not even using the slingshot. You're not trying any of that stuff. You're just lifting. You're just there repping out, which is good.
No pain.
Yeah. You know, I hit 315 on incline. That was with the slingshot. But I'm still happy with that, and I'm going to utilize that slingshot to get more reps out of it, and eventually that'll be on my way to some other number.
Oh, exactly.
That's the idea.
Yep.
You know, the supplements we take and the things that we do aren't going to push our bodies beyond their ability to handle something. You know, we don't have steroids. We don't have that sort of thing. And so I'm not, as long as our form is good and we're, you know, not just out of our mind trying weights that we shouldn't be, I think there's a natural progression in strength you can follow that isn't going to be damaging to your joints. It's not going to be damaging to anything.
For sure.
And we're not really people who are going to really, I know people accuse us of ego lifting, but there's really never been a time where we've been out of control in the gym lifting something we shouldn't be.
Right.
And we're always spotting each other when we need to be, and it's good. I
think so.
I think it's fine, and so I'm willing to push it until we can't do anything else. You know, I think our bodies will, between our diet and exercise, there'll be a natural stop or a natural plateau we just won't get over without changing something else. You know,
right.
So I'm not bummed about that at all. I'm pretty happy with where we are for
a
couple 40-year-old slobs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Hitting the gym. You know, I wish my form was as good as my wife's, but
yeah, right.
She does everything well.
She's doing squats and she was going so low. She's like, "Is that low enough?" I was like, "No, go lower."
Yeah. Yeah. She does everything well. Her deadlifts are good. Her squats are good. You know,
she hit a PR in deadlifts, did she not?
Yeah, she hit 195. That's it's almost double her body weight.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I don't have enough good to say about it. And for someone who didn't want to lift weights and didn't want to go there for so long,
she kind of outworks us.
Now she crushes it. No. So that's awesome. And hopefully my son follows suit. I don't want him to be a sloppy old man like me.
Us.
I want him to do better. And I think he will. You know, honestly, growing up, that was my inspiration was watching Rocky or something. You know what I mean? Watching Hulk Hogan wrestle on Saturday Night Main Event.
Go start doing push-ups.
But that's just what it was. It was an image of something. I didn't know what it took to do that. I didn't know anything about dieting. I didn't know anything about any of that until I was in my 20s. Yeah. And you know, regardless of what JT chooses to do, he's gonna know.
Right.
He won't. It won't be for lack of knowledge. He'll know what's up. So, yeah, that's awesome. All in all, it's been good. I think we're finally getting back to where we were before vacation in June.
Yep, pretty much.
And that's good because now we've got nothing to do but lift for the next. Do you have? I don't have anything coming up.
No, me either.
I mean, I'll have a weekend away towards the end of September, but we'll work around it, and that's it.
Winter's coming.
Winter's coming, and then it's just everything gets put away. You batten down the hatches, and the gym is all there is.
Yep. Indoors.
Yep. Because we're not snowmobilers
Or skiers.
or skiers or snowshoers
Or snow shovelers.
or ice fishermen.
Wow.
Maybe we should be. I don't know. On Instagram, we got followed by a couple of outdoor channel sports shows. Drop Zone TV, and there's another one. I'm forgetting their name right now. This is where we need that Googler. Hang on, I got my tablet. I'll look it up. It's rude to bring them up and then not know their name. Hal Schaefer's the star of the Drop Zone TV, or one of them, I should say. There's three guys on there. Yeah, something you and I have talked about, and something I do want to teach Jordan how to do, is hunt. It's one of those things my dad taught me. I know how to hunt and fish. I know how to, I know how to dress deer. I know how to fish. I know how to fillet it, fish. I know how to do all those things because my dad told or showed me over many years, and I know how to do it. I've never really had a desire to do it outside of that. But I would like Jordan to at least know. And I've kind of talked to him. My rule is you kill it, you eat it. There's no killing it for the hell of it. I'm not down for that. I get killing nuisance animals that are causing problems. That doesn't happen to us here. Yeah. Or at least I wouldn't be allowed to shoot it anyway because I'm in town. But yeah, I'm still looking for it. One of them is Team All Outdoors is a big group over in Minneapolis. That's one of them. But at any rate, the reason that I brought them up was just because hunting season is, here. It's
right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? When does small game start? Or it did?
Middle of September.
Yeah. Okay. And I thought about starting him there. However, he has zero interest in eating a squirrel.
He's not the only one.
And so we probably won't do that. But because I'm serious about that, I think that's a good thing to put out there for a kid, especially one who lives in town like Jordan. I know farmers would just shake their head at that because, for all you vegans out there who don't know, those farmers will blow away anything that goes anywhere near their crops. That's their livelihood. Yep. And rightfully so. I'm not saying they shouldn't. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not bragging, but it's getting to the point where we have enough followers that I'm struggling to get through this list.
We'll take JT to do some hunting.
Yeah, I want him to at least try it. I mean, I know if it was
Dominic can show him how to field dress everything.
Dominic could show him.
Yeah,
I've seen Dominic take care of a goose in 2 seconds, have it ready to cook.
Oh yeah,
that's impressive. Yeah, and I love to say, and I've told you this many times, I don't hunt. I just have all the stuff to do it if I want to.
Right.
I have the proper equipment. I've got the camo. I've got the unsent your clothes soap. I've got all the gear. I just don't go. What'd Ron White say?
Why?
Well, he said because it's too early in the morning, it's too cold, and he doesn't want to go. Yeah. He's just not. I'm not quite to that with him. I just don't. If the opportunity really presented itself, like if you called or someone in there like, let's go hunting, I'd go like, okay, let's go.
You've helped us hunt at camp.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have.
Games on the TV.
Yep.
Watching the field.
Yep. I don't even know if you could say I was spotting. I definitely looked. But yeah, I might have been sucking toast. It's hard to say.
For the morning hunt.
Yeah, for the morning hunt. Yeah, you know, the last 2 deer I hit with a car, I didn't kill them either. So it's been a while. Yeah, same thing with fishing. You know, I talk about it all the time. Like, oh, I should get a boat. And you're always like, no, you don't want a boat.
I don't get a boat. No.
Fishing's the same thing. It's not that I dislike it or I, have anything against it. I think fishing's really cool. I just never. There's only so many things you can do. So many interests you can follow.
Yep.
I'm impressed by people who have all these different things they do and all these places they go and all these different. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm scrambling to keep track of what I do now.
Yeah, what day it is.
Yeah. But yeah. So I don't know if we ever get the urge, we could go hunting.
We can do that.
I mean, Jordan, he just turned 13, so he's only legal. He can't hunt deer or anything until he's a little bit older.
No, he can do it now.
Can he do it now? He didn't do hunter safety now.
No, I think he'll have to do that.
So I'll have to get him in there. That'll be, I don't know. I don't even know. They already had the one for this summer.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So, like I said, he hasn't really shown an interest, and I'm not one of those guys that just flat out makes his kid do whatever. I will usually make him try something before he decides he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. But if we were out doing it, he'd want to.
Yeah, I think he would. He'd show more of an interest for sure.
Yep.
If we were doing it all the time. But I don't know. His dad's an IT guy who likes to lift weights and drive muscle cars, so that's we spend a lot of time doing that.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Yeah. So the gym went really well. I'm pretty pumped about Jordan's birthday. Julie outworked us as usual. I don't really think there's anything more to discuss there.
No.
So on to Street Outlaws.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. More drama in the 405. They come up with something every week, don't they?
They do. They're good at it.
Yep.
But the racing's still good.
The racing's still good. Dave lost to Chief by a fender. It was a really good race. And it's when you watch the momentum and just how fast those cars are accelerating and the way they're moving coming down the road, they do a really good job of capturing that on camera. It's almost a Fast and Furious thing, where it's a 8-second race that takes 20 seconds to be filming.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. I don't. They never post times. They just tell you who the winner is. But Chief got him by a fender, and then they tried to. I don't know. They tried to stir up more drama because Chuck had a call out on Ryan, who's just below Dave, and then so they were mad because then that would allow Dave to just wait a week and call Chief back out the next time, and Chief wouldn't have to race twice in one night, and because it's harder on the cars, blah blah blah. But all that stuff's horseshit. But so in the end, Chuck relinquished his call out on Ryan because they're going to play games too now, so Ryan could call Dave out right away, and Dave beat him anyway, and so the whole thing was stupid. We were just talking about it, but they talk a lot about that stuff, but as far as the games being played and blah blah blah, but they all hang out together all the time. It's not just the show. These guys are actual friends, yeah. And I know the producers of that show like to try to stir up some drama to add more to the show, but that American Choppers thing it's played. The Big Brother, the fake drama, it's played. Just stop it.
Yep.
Focus on the cars. Show us how they set their chassis up. Show us how, what brand tire are they purchasing? What size is it? What kind of rims do they got? You don't have to go in a ton of detail. And if you watch other shows where they do that stuff, it doesn't take very long.
No.
Hell, you could show an info screen right before the race that has all the data on it. All of us DVR, so we can hit pause. You know what I mean? I think they should. I know that they got to throw the drama in there for the for the people who go for that, and I'm sure there's an audience for it. But I'd prefer to see more about the cars and more racing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, it's just better. But yeah, and I watched Lenos Garage. I'd missed that the past couple weeks, but I got caught up. It was Leno. I mean, he's having such a good time doing that show. That's what makes it entertaining.
Yeah. What do they do? I missed it.
He had just he had Tyler Perry on there.
Okay.
You know, it was funny. Whenever he has comedians on there, it's good. Because then they kind of play off each other. Not that Tyler Perry's not a comedian, but he is a movie producer and, you know, stars in comedies and stuff. But yeah, apparently he flies model planes for fun, and he's built a movie studio in Atlanta, Georgia, that's bigger than Warner Brothers.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know those. I'm gonna be for anybody who would even care. I've never seen a Medea movie. Have you?
No, don't even know what it is.
So Medea is when he dresses up like an old black woman and goes on adventures. There's like Medea Halloween. I don't know. Medea goes to a dance. It's like they're comedies, right? Never seen one.
Didn't Eddie Murphy do movies like that where he dressed up?
That's probably where he got the idea.
No.
But they're hugely successful. And the reason he did things the way he did, I guess, and he was explaining this, is that he didn't want the rights going to someone else. He doesn't like the idea of the studios collecting their end and someone else collecting their end, and then he gets his piece. He wanted all of it.
Smart man.
Yeah. It's worked out well for him.
I'm sure it has.
He was driving a Rolls Royce, a brand new Phantom. That's a really nice car.
Yeah.
So if you're driving a Rolls Royce and you own your own movie studio in Atlanta that's bigger than Warner Brothers, you're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Life is probably going pretty good for you. Keep cranking out them Medeas. Maybe one day I'll watch one, but probably not. It's just not my thing. You know, Reese Witherspoon comes out with a new rom-com or drama every couple of years. I've not seen any of those either.
No.
Don't care.
Nope. Deadpool's out.
Yeah. Deadpool 2.
On video.
On video. I have a copy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
we have a copy.
Yeah. You haven't made the conversion to 4K yet. And so Tommy's got this sweet deal where I go out and buy the 4K and then I have no use for the Blu-ray disc. That'll all change when you upgrade, though. Because you're going to be like, screw these Blu-rays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, that's not what's happening, and that's why 4K hasn't caught on. People like the TVs, and they like it for streaming. But as far as the disc sales and stuff, that's why you don't see too much of them. The adoption rate has been very slow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's too bad, though, because for those of you who don't know, the disc is much higher quality and the sound is much higher quality than anything you could stream anywhere. It's just better. You know, the compression they have to use to stream it online affects the image and affects the sound. So if you want the best, get the disc. But, you know, I'm one of those weirdos. I had, I don't know, 200 VHS tapes at one point. I had over 500 DVDs at one point.
Yeah.
I've got a couple hundred Blu-rays and probably over 100 4K discs.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah. I'm one of those guys. Yeah. Well, if you get that 75-inch TV, I'm going to be really jealous.
Right? Won't that be fun?
I knew I went too small with the 65. Wasn't enough. Told my wife that, and she says, "You're nuts." I was like, "Well,
that's okay.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy." Yeah. Oh, and I did look into more of that Casey Kane thing, because the more we talked about it, the more I thought, like, that's weird. He's around our age. He's younger than us.
He's younger.
And he's going to retire over quality of life. Like, what the hell's going on? So I looked, and he's. Remember years ago we were talking about Dale Jarrett. You were a huge Dale Jarrett fan.
Yep.
And you said there was a point after he won a championship that he seemed to have lost his edge.
I thought so.
Like he was a really talented driver, but that last little bit you need to push to fight through gaps to try to win, he wasn't willing to do anymore. It didn't seem like it.
Right.
That's what Casey Kane is claiming, is that he's
showing up to go through the motions.
Yeah, and he didn't want to do that to anybody, so he turned down offers to drive.
Wow.
He had deals in place.
Okay.
And he just said, he goes, I don't. He said he's going to do sprint car racing still, but he doesn't want to be in NASCAR anymore.
All right.
So, you know what? I can. It's weird to me, but I respect that. You know,
sure.
To recognize that and not waste everyone's time.
Yeah.
Because the other people on that team don't know that you're not pushing yourself.
Right.
You know, is he scared of getting hurt? The wrecks? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
But he lost his edge somewhere. He just needs to watch Days of Thunder.
And get it back.
Yeah, Tom Cruise got it back.
Yep. Quick.
Quick, yeah. Just racing Ford Tauruses with a other old washed-up driver.
Uh-huh. Rentals.
Yeah. That's Earl from The Walking Dead. Or Merle. Was it Earl or Merle? Daryl's brother.
The one-armed, one-hand guy?
Yeah.
Merle.
Yeah. He was on Days of Thunder. He was the other driver.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know what they need to do and they've never done? And I'm going to harp about this forever just because I can. They should do a movie about NASCAR when NASCAR used real cars. I do.
Way back in the day?
Way back. Give me a
Race on Sunday?
race on
Sell on
Sunday,
Monday?
sell on Monday. Give me Richard Petty, Junior Johnson. Let's see that. Let's see that racing. With like early 70s cars when they were kind of, because to me NASCAR for that style was at its peak in like 1969, 1970, 1971 when Dodge had their big wing cars and the little bit bigger Charger, and Ford had the Fairlanes and the Torino Talladegas.
Yep.
That's awesome. Let's see more of that.
Yeah. That was a good time.
Well, the wrecks were horrendous. I know that.
Yeah. Regular guardrails on the edge of the track.
Yeah. But, you know, they all did it. You know, you watch that movie Rush with Ron Howard where they talk about IndyCar open wheel racing. It was F1 back in the 70s, right? That Chris Hemsworth's in it.
That was F1.
F1. But they talked about that, like 10% of those drivers died every year or something like that.
Yep.
Like, good God. That's where if you're going to tell me that you're making it safer and that's why we went to these body on chassis things or whatever they are, sticker cars, because people were dying a lot in NASCAR, but I don't think that was the case. I think they just did it because they're faster, lighter.
Just a standard car.
It's just a standard, yeah.
All the cars are the same.
Yeah. What do they say? When everyone's the same, then nobody's special? That's NASCAR.
Yeah. So the grandstands are empty.
Yeah. If Ford had to make the Mustang to compete on a racetrack, well, I mean, and they do. You know, we talked about that a little bit. The GT Racing Series is real, and you know that's what they have.
Yep.
The Ford.
That'd probably be the one to watch.
Yeah, it is. The harder part for Ford GT Racing, at least catching on in the U.S., is for whatever reason, it was the same thing that affected Trans Am racing in the 70s when NASCAR was ascending then. You can't see the whole race.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
You want to sit in one spot and see the whole thing. Yeah.
You're going to see cars go by really fast for 5 seconds and not see them again for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
You know? That's not great for fans, I think. But, you know, rally racing fans are pretty passionate, and that's what they get, too. They move around the track still, and they'll see a little bit more, but I get it. That's tougher to watch. I wish there was some way to meld the two so that you had those cars racing on a circuit people would get excited about. In Europe, obviously, they don't have that problem because they don't care. They're used to F1 racing, and F1 racing, you generally don't see the whole track either. So.
Right.
And they do not have problems bringing in fans.
No.
Is that the largest sport in the world, or is soccer larger than F1?
I would think soccer's bigger, but I don't know.
They got to be right there.
Yeah, it's up there.
You know, what was Michael Schumacher making, like $28 million a year or something like
insane.
that? It was a lot. It was probably way more than that even, but I was just throwing that number out there. That's like Matt Stafford money.
This is our year.
This is our year.
We even got a win.
Did we? Oh, yeah. It just didn't look like that was going to happen when the starters were playing. It looked like we were going to get killed by like 6 touchdowns. And I know Matt Patricia was catching hell because one of the things that they were talking about was the Lions finished the half with all 3 timeouts. So I get why they're giving him a hard time because you don't get extra credit for finishing a half with your timeouts. However, the drive stalled at like the 50. It wasn't like he needed the timeouts to get something else done. They didn't run out of time. They just ran out of downs.
Yeah. Yep.
So I really don't care about that. The field goal attempt for 62 yards sucked.
That was a little rough.
It was great for Tampa.
Yeah.
I got their fans. They were all jacked up about it.
Yep.
109
109 yards.
Whew. It's pretty good.
It's a long jog.
Pretty good. That's what was it the announcer said? Yeah, they had a lot of big bodies in there, so they didn't have any skill or speed players because they were trying to make sure he had plenty of time to get that kickoff.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
And you could see those big boys were having a hard time getting down there.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about that 40-yard dash time and how big guys are pretty quick these days. Let me just say their speed falls off drastically after that. And you see that. Those little guys can just keep trucking. Little, the 230-pounders.
Right.
But, yeah, that sucked. And, Matt Patricia, of course, they went into halftime. He was pissed and made the starters play longer. It was only like another series, but you could definitely tell when they came out that they had their butts chewed, though, because there was way more snap in there. I mean, they were moving. They were doing it like it was a no huddle. It wasn't quite a super fast pace, but they were trying to move pretty quick. He was trying to make a point with them, I think.
Yep.
And we'll see. They got a tough schedule this year. I've seen Lions fans posting they're going to go 14-2, and I'm like, really? Because I'm looking at the same schedule you are, and if they go 9-7, that's going to be a really good year given their schedule.
Yeah.
And I'm being serious. I'm not saying they can't do better than that. It's just knowing the way they generally tend to fall apart at one point or another. And until they don't, I think that's what they'll do. But I mean, they have
Not anymore. Come on, man.
I know. Maybe not. Maybe Matt's gonna be the one to keep them fired up, keep them focused, and keep them winning. I don't know. How many seasons have we seen him start 6-0 or 4-2 and then just die?
Drop right off.
Yep. So I know it's different players. I know it's different personnel. I don't know why it's always that way in Detroit, but it's always that way in Detroit. So, yeah, that sucks. But we'll be watching. Next Saturday is Michigan Notre Dame. You want to watch?
For sure.
Yeah. Should we watch State this year?
No.
I know there's some passionate Michigan State fans out there, and again, I've said before, I don't really get caught up in rivalries, except that I don't like Ohio State and I don't like Green Bay.
Yeah.
In general, though,
Does
I don't get
anybody
caught
like
up.
Ohio State?
I don't know. Urban Meyer, is he in jail yet? I know they suspended him. He killed 3 people and should have went to prison, but Ohio State's going to suspend him 3 games. I'm kidding, he didn't. But it feels like that's what's going on. Like, horrible things happened. He ignored it and knew about it. And yeah, and it went on for a long time. And their big punishment for him was a 3-game suspension.
Wow.
From the university, by the way, not the NCAA or anything.
They took care of it in-house.
Yeah, they got it. Oh, wow. It's awesome. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm anxious to watch it. We didn't really watch any college football last year.
Nope.
But I'm going to pay a little bit closer attention this year. I'd like to see how Michigan does. And yeah, I mean, as far as state or anybody goes, I'll follow it in the news. But I ain't going to watch. There's just no time.
No,
you know, these people are like, I got the NFL package. For what? You going to live in front of your goddamn TV?
Right.
Give me a break. It's like someone told me, like, oh, because, you know, now they have games Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday. Almost every week it's like that.
Yep.
And Sunday it's all day long. I like football too, and I like to follow the Steelers. I do. If a team has a player I like, I will generally want to at least look at the highlights and see how he did. And so sometimes I could be watching the Vikings or the Bears or Dallas or, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just that's a lot. I mean, those are long games. And we have
it's
other
a time
things going
sink.
on.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys who do it, God bless you. I don't know how you do it, but God bless you. Because I think I go to work all week. We go to the gym 4 days a week. I try to make time to get down to the drive-in to hang out with the classic car nights on Tuesdays. You know, we got to go shopping, grocery shopping. We got to get. My wife works full time too. It's not like all of this happens in its own time slots. Mm-hmm. You know, and we try to get to church on Sundays. It's just, it's tough. It's tough. So these guys that watch everything, I don't know how you do it. God bless you. College football, pro football, I mean, those are the type of guys they do. They watch everything.
Yep.
Baseball, they're usually big hockey
Even
fans.
baseball. And they catch most baseball games.
It's 162 games. How many? What's 162 times 3? It's about a 3-hour game, isn't it?
I would say it's at least 3 hours. It takes forever for a ball game to go.
Yeah. It's a lot. You spend like 500 hours of your life every year watching baseball.
Yep.
Oh, bless you. Someone's got to. This thing, just 1 week. I would like to try it 1 week as an experiment. I'm going to watch every sporting, because I'm a Detroit fan, right? So even if I don't watch the sport or I don't follow it closely, I'm a Detroit fan. You ask me, that's what I'm going to say. So if you ask me about hockey, I'm going to tell you I love the Red Wings. Ask me about basketball, I'm going to tell you I love the Pistons. You know, that's I don't know. It's the way I grew up. That's how I am.
Yep.
So, but I would, it would be fun 1 week, especially in like October when like NASCAR's firing up and or finishing up, right? NASCAR still go. Don't they have their playoffs still in October, or are they done?
NASCAR finishes up like middle of November.
Okay, so we'll still have NASCAR. So yeah, take 1 week and try to watch every sporting event of your teams that you could watch.
Ugh.
Can you imagine? Because basketball fires up in October. Baseball's still going on. Could you how much goddamn couch time can you have?
Exactly.
Watching NFL, watching college ball.
When's the last time you sat down and watched an entire baseball game on TV?
I couldn't tell you.
Right.
Maybe in 2012 when the Tigers won the World
Sure.
Series.
Right.
But I can tell you,
like regular season game.
Like most assholes, I'm on the couch with my phone in my hand, and I'm only kind of paying attention.
Yeah. Getting updates.
Yeah. I do too many things like that, though. I got to stop that.
Multitasking.
I know. It's the only way to get stuff done.
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough. But just think about the hours. Like, what are the Pistons play on like Tuesdays and Thursdays? So let's say you watched a Pistons game, a NASCAR race, Michigan, Detroit, and then hockey. Like,
nope.
And then let's say you watched golf. The good walk gone bad. That's just, it's too much to me. And then you have guys that are just fanatics about their sport and they watch every game they can.
Wow.
I don't get that. Like I said, between working full time and trying to get to the gym and trying to spend time with the family and trying to make it down for car nights and trying to, when do you do all that? I don't know. You couldn't sleep but 2 hours a night and try to do all that.
Right.
Screw that. You got to prioritize. You can't fit it all in. Just do the best you can, right? I don't know. Kind of went on a rant there.
Yeah.
We went down a rabbit hole that probably wasn't worth going down. What are you going to do? Yeah. I don't know. That stuff's pretty cool. What else we got going on? Anything good?
Not really.
Not really.
It's all kind of the norm.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this Old Smoky salted caramel Tennessee whiskey.
I must have spilled mine.
Oh, is it gone?
I think
Good
so.
God. Either I'm a slacker, which I am, or you really like that whiskey.
It's good.
Yeah. It's about balance, right? We ate fresh vegetables, we had sushi, and we had some
Fish.
salmon and
Yeah.
sea bass. So you got to throw some whiskey in on top.
Right.
It's all about that balance. It's killing our gains. Good God. Yeah. I know what I wanted to talk about. So, I did put my cars up for sale.
You did.
I did. I put the Challenger up for sale. Not saying it's going to sell because I'm not going to just dump it. I know what it's worth. I'll wiggle a little bit on the price, but I'm going to get good value for it, or I'm not going to sell it because it's a great car. The reason that I want to do that is because the Cutlass didn't even get insurance put on it this year.
Well, this is your practice spiel for convincing your wife why this has to happen, right?
Right.
Okay.
So-
Run it by us.
So here it is. I really do want to get the Cutlass into phenomenal condition. It already runs really good. It's already in good shape. It already has a great interior. It has a charging issue, and I bought a bunch of parts for it last winter that I didn't put on it. And I would really like to get that car in great shape. And I do want my son to help me work on it. That was a big part of doing all of this. And he is interested. In fact, like I said, that birthday post we're going to do on Muscle and Speed for him is kind of all about that. Jordan around motors and cars and power wheels and bicycles and mini bikes and whatever I could get him on and get him driving. In fact, I think my wife took some pictures of him driving my truck today. But, yeah, I just kind of want to restructure what I have. And I have a camper I want to sell too, because we don't use it. We haven't used it once this summer. I feel bad about that. It's brand new. It's nice. We just didn't use it.
That's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. So, yeah, I want to finish off the Cutlass, and then we'll take a good hard look at what else we might be able to get. We'll see.
We'll be watching and waiting.
Mm-hmm. If you see my car history, you know that I tend to move on to other things, and I try to make it bigger and better every time.
Pretty much.
We'll see. And I'm not knocking the SRT8, like I said, and if I don't get good value for it, I'm more than happy to keep the car. It's a great car.
It is.
Got lots of power. It's fun to drive. Yeah. I have no complaints, really, other than I wonder what else there is. I wonder. What else could I do?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the meantime, I want to fix up that Cutlass and get it running good. We got to get your Mustang running, or you have the same problem. It's different because you need to change your alternator and do a couple things, but simple stuff. I think you have almost nothing. I want to say almost nothing, but you have very few things to do to that car to get it, to the point where it could be a daily driver for you. Not that it would, but that it could.
Yep.
I've got further to go with the Cutlass, but I think it's doable. I really do. And I'd love to get that car in great shape and do many videos and have lots of fun with Jordan in the car and Julie and you and Dominic and Kyle or whoever else.
Yep.
It'd be a blast. So if the Challenger has to bite it for that to happen, well, I'm not complaining. I had my fun. Took it on a nice long trip and taking it to some cruises, and it's a good car. It's just a really good car. For a car like that you can you can take to cruise nights and stuff, and the engine's what it is, and it rumbles really nice and everybody likes it. But then you take it on a trip and you put it in sixth gear at 70 miles an hour and you're spinning 1,700 RPMs and getting 23 miles per gallon.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
That is.
I think the newer ones have heated and cooled seats versus mine are just heated. I think yours are heated and cooled, aren't they?
Yeah.
In the show? Yeah. That would be nice. The 15s and up, they have a little bit nicer options.
You talking about the Hellcats?
Well, I don't want to use the word yet.
Okay. I could put a label on it.
Yeah, I don't want to put a label on it,
Gotcha.
But an 8-speed auto kitty cat would be kind of fun.
I agree.
Yeah, it's funny because when I bought the SRT8, and I've told you this and you didn't believe me, but I don't think I'll modify it, even if I end up keeping it. I really like just how it is, because unless you go blower, you're not going to gain a ton of power just doing the regular mods.
But you're right. I didn't believe you.
But with a Hellcat, yeah. You get a little wider, a little stickier tire, spend a few $100 on a tune, change that pulley, have 800 wheel horsepower. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to not do that if I had one of those. That's, to me, it's as stupid as it is. It's like you're crazy if you don't. See, if you have a Hellcat out there, you're crazy if you don't, because that's just awesome. That's all kinds of awesome. But yeah, so for realsies then. So you've got your Mach 1. That's never going anywhere.
No.
That's in the family forever. The show is a really nice car. I mean, I've sat in it. It's not a Taurus. And I was like, it's just a Taurus. No, it isn't. No, it really isn't. I mean, like we said, from the forged alloy wheels and the tires and the suspension and the turbocharged engine and, the seats have suede leather and, it's way more than a regular car, and it's really fast. And for $1,000 or so, you can make it a lot faster.
A lot faster.
Hint, hint, hint. But there's also a chance you may not keep that.
That's true.
Depending on how things go.
Yep.
I don't want to say any more than that. Depending on how things go. But yeah, do you think that maybe at some point,
possibly,
yeah, the show might go for what? We don't want to say.
Yeah,
for something. For something.
Right.
He's keeping it close to the vest. You know what? And I kind of do too, because if I walked up to my wife right now and was like, "Hey, I want to get rid of the Challenger for a Hellcat," she'd slap me right upside the head, and she'd have a right to, because I do spend a lot of money on this stuff. And that's something that could happen down the line. Right now, I want to finish that Cutlass. That's all I want to do. Reduce some of the toys that I have, finish that Cutlass, make it nice, make it do great burnouts and cruise on cruise nights and go on trips if I want to. That's what I want to do with that car.
That's a good plan.
And that's going to take some money, like everything else.
Yep.
It's not easily done. And, you know, my son has a real interest in the Cutlass. And someday I would love for that to be his.
I think that's what he's calling it.
He's already calling it. He's 13. He's got ways to go. He's not going to be one of those kids that doesn't want to care or doesn't want to go to driver's ed and could care less if he gets a driver's license. I guarantee you that.
He's ready.
He's ready now. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen though? First, I got to sell the things, and then work on the Cutlass. That's the short term, you know, because Julie's still talking about retiring. I don't know if she's going to. I don't know when. You know, I don't know what. You know, I think she waffles back and forth as well too, as far as how that's going to go. But you know, and I'm not talking about tomorrow or next month or next year, but we're getting old enough where it's in our thoughts. You know, Julie has 20 years at the phone company. I got 18. You know, at the tribe where I work. It's starting to enter into the realm of thought.
Right.
You don't want to be creating brand new payments as you are finishing off your employment. That's crazy. So, yeah, it's all things you got to plan and things you got to think about because it has to make sense long term, not just short term fun. I'm good at short term fun. I'm trying to be better at long term. So, yeah, I don't know. I do though. Like anybody, I'm one of those guys that's scanning Craigslist and Auto Trader and looking at the best deals for this, that, and the other thing. You know, for a while I was thinking maybe I keep the Challenger and try to talk Jules into let me get rid of the truck and the camper and get a Raptor. That was in my thought for a while, but she was definitely not cool with that.
You could just tell.
Yeah, that wasn't going nowhere. Bless her, she has to put up with me and my little scheming ways. But yeah, that's how I get stuff done.
That's right.
That's what I do. She knows that. She's here to stop me. Or to be sensible, I should say. She's the one to be sensible. I'm the one to go nuts. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Do we have anything else? Or is that good? Oh, and stuff I already posted on our social media. I did a thing. I wrote a book.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that yet.
Yeah, I wrote a book. I actually wrote it years ago.
6 years ago?
At least. I think it was 2011.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's one of those things I did, and I kicked it around for a while. You looked at it.
I read it.
Yeah, a sister of mine looked at it. It's changed since then. I revised it, and then I'd put it away, and then I'd revise it, and I talked to Julie about it. Put it away, and it just came to this year, and we've been talking about this kind of thing for a while, but I don't know if you want to call it midlife crisis or what. But I'm kind of getting more aware of things that I always wanted to do that I haven't done yet, and the clock is ticking. And so, yeah, that was one of them. So I went through it and revised it one more time, read through it a couple more times, and then said, this is good. And so I published it on Amazon. They'll have a paperback available soon. It's on Kindle right now. And I'll do an audio version. And that's we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. Yeah, I'll probably write another one. It's fun. I told my sister it's cathartic. I think for me, people who have some artistic ability, and I know, we were joking today. I said, if you want a really good book, they cost about $20. If you want mine, it costs $3. It's $2.99. But it's cathartic. It's almost like therapy. When you have an artistic ability or you have an artistic bent of any kind, I don't care what it is, and you work a job that has nothing to do with it, your life kind of drifts away from that as an adult, I think you do suffer a little bit for it. And so having a way to get that out of yourself every once in a while, it's good for you. Good for the soul. That's what I think.
I'm with you.
Yeah. I don't care what you can do. Can you sing? Can you dance? Can you, we see a lot of people who can't dance that
do dance.
That dance anyway. Dance like nobody's watching, but we're all looking. And now everybody has a smartphone. Thank God they didn't have that when I was a kid. Pause for a drink. Yeah. So I'm proud of it. I like, my words are spelled correctly. The grammar is about as good as it could be coming from me. I'm proud of it. I'm glad that I was able to do it. And like I said, it probably won't be the last one. I've got a sketch pad around here somewhere with tons of drawings and stuff in it, and that was something that I had aspired to do as a little kid. Like a middle schooler. Yeah. I wanted to be a cartoonist or a comic book artist or something like that. And so, it's one of those things. You grow up, you grow out of it, but those things are still in the back of your mind somewhere.
I like it, man. Good for you.
But, yeah, I had a good time. Glad we did it. Glad we're going to the gym. Glad we're podcasting. Mm-hmm. Glad we have our social media stuff going on. It's fun.
It is.
And that's why I don't have enough time to watch the NFL Sunday Ticket. So, to be honest, I wouldn't anyway. I could have nothing else to do, and I'm not going to spend 20 hours a week watching football. Sorry, no. Because you'd have to. You would have to. Yeah. You'd have to watch 6 games a week to make that worth it. Not saying you can't, but that's going to be what you do.
It's a time sink.
Yeah. Oh, well. All right. You had enough?
I'm good.
I had enough. We're out of here.